Still watching Nile International and of course Nile Cruise. And of course you can be following us on Nile Cruise and Nile TV on Twitter, Facebook and Google+. So, as I've said in the introduction, thousands of Egyptians still rally the streets, whether supporting President or former President Mohammed Morsi now, or supporting the revolution of the 30th of June and before it the 25th of January revolution. Meanwhile, on almost a fortnight since the oust of President Morsi, a new cabinet has been sworn in this week. Hazem al-Biblawi became the interim prime minister and the head of the armed forces, General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, stays as the defense minister and also became the deputy prime minister, while Muhammad Ibrahim Mustafa remained as the interior minister. Liberal Christian politician Munir Fakhri Abdel Noor has been made the trade and industry minister. On Friday today as well, we've seen a number of protests being held in Tahrir Square, in Rab al-Adawiyya intersection in Alexandria and different governorates, of course protesting against the ousting of President Mohammed Morsi and demanding his reinstatement. On the other hand, people in Tahrir, people in Alexandria and other governorates are demanding that the revolution should be continued and the goals of it will be achieved. And today we have Professor Dr. محمد El-Nashائى who will be telling us more about the current situation on the street in Egypt. Hello, Doctor.
Hello.
Sorry for being late. Okay, so moving on the situation on the ground now in the streets of Cairo. How would you analyze it?
First, let me express my deep appreciation. I'm saluting appreciation to the Egyptian people, to its army, and its young people who went to the street to achieve what they have achieved. I want to make it unequivocally clear that I'm absolutely of the opinion that this is one of the most wonderful revolutions in human history, not only. I think Egypt made history. Yes. With this last revolution of the 30th of last month. And my trust in what the army have done and approach infinity. I think we are heading in the right direction.
Yes.
And I salute again the armed force of Egypt, which I call it, by the way, the military wing of the Egyptian people.
Yes.
It's something very special, the relationship between the army and the people in Egypt. America have a completely different history. They wouldn't even start guessing at it. Same thing apply even to England. I give you a very small example, and yes. I hope the viewer will appreciate that I'm taking a little bit more time into history. The last time a regular Egyptian army fought a regular Egyptian army is 4,000 years ago, when King Mina united the valley of the Nile,
yes.
the north and the south. The last regular army, American regular army, which fought a regular army, is only about 150 years. It was the Confederation against the Yankee. You can never imagine how much Egypt is interwoven into its army and vice versa. There's nothing called Christian or Muslim or Jew or non-religious person in the army. It doesn't matter. They are Egyptian and this is their military wing. Therefore, all this talk, which saying a military coup, is just, please forgive me for a very common English American word, really, baloney. Yes. This is baloney. And as the father of an American citizen who supported President Obama enormously, I address now President Obama, thank him that he, at long last, acknowledged that this is a revolution and not military coup, because we don't have military coup in Egypt. It doesn't exist. Even the revolution of the 23rd of July of Gamal Abdel Nasser, and this was not a military coup. It was a revolution. Nothing have changed so much in Egypt like the revolution.
Yes, but why did it take so long for US President Barack Obama to recognize that this was not a military coup by
He didn't
the
ask
Egyptian
my
army?
daughter. He didn't ask my daughter.
You could have told him the answer, yes.
It is very sad, but you see, I think there was a representative of the Congress coming who knew President Obama very, very well, and he was in Egypt, and he met with me long ago, a few years ago, really, at the time of President Mubarak, ex-President Mubarak, but president,
Yes.
ex-President Mubarak. And he told me, I have never met anybody who loved Obama, President Obama, so much like you. I'm going to tell him, the greatest admirer of you, Mr. President, is an Egyptian in Egypt called محمد النشائى. Things, I must admit, changed quite drastically. But I would love to keep this admiration for President Obama, and I hope he will listen to the Egyptian people asking him not only to support us lukewarmly, but full-heartedly, because in Egypt there is nothing called coup d'etat. Gamal Abdel Nasser led one of the greatest revolutions. Only greater than this is the revolution of the 30th of May.
But why did US President Barack Obama support the Muslim Brotherhood? And of course, with the US ambassador to Egypt, Ann Patterson, doing the same thing here on the ground.
You know, one of the great, thanks God, because I'm so confident and I look into the future and see only positive things now coming. But the thing which saddened me more than anything, because I am an Arab, an Egyptian Arab, and a Muslim, but I'm an Egyptian Arab. What have been the destruction of Iraq? Nothing have pained me so much like seeing the destruction of Iraq, one of the greatest nations in the Arab world, which was destroyed. Those who destroyed it started by hiring people who are Iraqi, living in the USA, professing that they know Iraq, telling them all about Iraq, and what is right and what is wrong for Iraq, speaking with the name of Iraq. People who have vested interest, monetary interest, and other interest, advise the American administration, the gullible American administration, wrongly about Iraq.
Which led to the war or the invasion.
Not only the war, the destruction, because they dissolved the Iraqi army. What a ludicrous idea to dissolve the Iraqi army and then look there and then shed, with all respect, crocodile tears about, oh, what's the war.
So that was the same scenario here in Egypt.
You can't. No, Iraq is Egypt cannot have anything of the sort. But I'm just saying,
it was the planned
those
scenario.
people who have misled President Obama, his envoys to the Middle East, people who are Arab, more specifically, people who are Egyptian, who gave him wrong information and wrong impression. I am partly, our family is known and have a lot of prominent founding member of the Muslim Brotherhood, my family. I am a very, very sold on Islam person who lived since I'm 12 years old in Germany. My first language is not Arabic, not English, definitely. I speak English horribly, but my first language is German. And I am very strict Muslim. I never touch alcohol. I am very, very, very much of a Muslim. But I have never known if my friend is a Christian or a Jew or non-believer. This is typical for an Egyptian Muslim. He doesn't do this thing. They got it all wrong. President Obama was a lot of his advisor who should be really fired immediately.
Sacked by
including, sacked is very English. The American is fired, you know.
Should be harsher, yes. But you've mentioned the Muslim Brotherhood, Dr. Muhammad. How would you see the the leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood at Raba al-Adawiya intersection calling for the U.S. to come here to Egypt and reinstate former President Mohammed Morsi as the president of Egypt.
You know, I was slightly upset because we are half an hour late. You know, I'm a German in my timing. I forgot all that. When I just remember some of the words which were used in Raba al-Adawiya, to know the man in front of you, I am a total pacifist. I don't carry arms. I abhor killing. I hate violence. And thanks God, I didn't have in my hand a gun to shoot the person who said this awful word, encouraging people to go into a civil war in Raba al-Adawiya. I couldn't believe it. As I tell you, I respect Islam and I respect the Muslim Brotherhood. I think they had a great contribution. They had in the past contribution. What is that? This is not what I know about the Muslim Brotherhood, my friend, my families. I think the leadership have went very wrong. Even a person whom I respect very much because it's more or less me. He's an engineer and he's a professor of engineering, Dr. Morsi. How could his last two speech happens? How could it happen? You know, I couldn't believe the language he's using. Something went very wrong with the leadership. But I will risk saying that, even if a lot of people will be angry.
Yes.
Because I consider myself a liberal Muslim. The Muslim Brotherhood are not the Muslim Brotherhood leadership. Something went very wrong with this last leadership. Maybe the history, I don't know enough about it. I'm an atomic
A lot of the
scientist.
Egyptians didn't know about
I'm
the
a
Muslim
theoretical physicist and
before they
engineer.
came into power, yes.
So I will not go into the history and split hair here and say the English had their hand here and there. This is all hearsay, and unless I have evidence in front of me as a scientist, I don't use such harsh accusation. But I know of certain things. Certain Egyptians who function as advisor to the American government and to President Obama personally misled him badly. Their crime is enormous, but it's a moral crime. I wish we could prove it more and make it a penal crime. For me, they deserve lifelong imprisonment for misleading the President of the United States. But
and for
there is something
in
the hand of Professor, I would say Professor Obama, President Obama.
Okay, Dr. Mohammed, because we're running out of time, because I have a question about the government.
The ambassador, I want to say, the ambassador of the United States is totally unacceptable. It's totally unacceptable. I say that on the risk she will never give me a visa, although I am a father of
so you can go in there. But what about the new cabinet under Dr. Hazem al-Biblawi, because we have to talk about this, which was sworn in the past week. How can you see it?
I see it as an expression how the Egyptian people are coming together. And let me tell you why. I was one of the first to support that even if Dr. Baradei want to be the prime minister, I would have said yes. You will take it and you say, Dr. Baradei is my biggest political enemy, and I accept him. And I thank Dr. Baradei for supporting the revolution, although I know how weary he is from the word military. I am not. I feel comfortable when I hear the word military, maybe because the man who brought me up is an army general. But it's not only that. I know the military of Egypt. I know its history. I studied even Clausewitz, the holy book of military tactic. And I have enormous admiration for the greatest president of United States of America, Dwight Eisenhower, who was an army general and who won the World War II and landed on D-Day in Normandy. And in the same with the same token, may I go out of all proportion, I say, I would love to see Field Marshal Sisi being a candidate to become the president of Egypt. I will be sold on it. But Baradei is the opposite of me. I respect him. And I was so happy he's on our side, and I totally accept him. This cabinet is a civil cabinet with people of all directions, and I wish some of the Muslim brothers and Salafi will participate. We are Egyptian first and most, and nothing else counts after that.
Yes, hopefully Professor Dr. محمد النشائى, the Professor of Nuclear Engineering and the political analyst, thank you very much for being with us today on Nile Cruise.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's time to go out for a quick break to hear the song, so stay tuned.